Okay, I'm in a Waymo car, which is a sort of a robo taxi. This is a Jaguar. I think it's called a I-Pace car. And here's where we're in Tempe now, and I've asked it to take me to Olive and Ivy restaurant in Old Town, and there's no driver. We're stopped at a stoplight now, and here's the screen. We're going to be, I guess, 24 minutes, and I've got choices here. I can I'll push the menu. 69 degrees. Now we're moving again, and we're taking a left turn, and there's some pedestrians here, so we didn't run over the pedestrians, and we didn't hit the car in front of us. It paused just like a regular good human driver would. Now we're headed eastbound on 7th Street, and in the left lane, as you can see, and we're moving along. We're not toddling along like an old grandma or being super careful. It's just moving along really nicely, keeping up with the other cars. It's not like everybody's passing us. And so I'll let you watch for a while. There's another red light. Oh, it just turned green, and here's some choices. I can play music. The temperature I can adjust. It's a little bit cold. I'm going to move that up to about 72. And now it's showing us, I don't know what street we're on, but this is sort of ahead of us is a little golf cart kind of thing. And I assume it won't smash into it. And it would be exciting if it would. Here's a map view of where we are. You can see there's just a district, an area that Waymo will drive in. I guess that's what they've researched carefully, or thousands of times or whatever. Oh, this is interesting. There's a construction, and wow, it went nicely all around that. The postal truck looked like it was going to pull out, so this guy sort of, I could feel a little tap of the brakes until it was sure what was going on. That was a good challenge with the cones out, the little triangles out in the road, and then the postal truck. I think it's the unusual things that can upset this kind of car, but they've run these millions of times, and they're very, very safe. I think safer than a human driver. But we'll see if I survive. Turning left, and did it properly and came into the far left lane on this road without swerving over the middle lane or taking a wide turn like some people do. You know, really, I traveled in Waymo from Scottsdale down here to Tempe this morning, and it's really, I honestly say, a better driver than most Uber drivers and perhaps most people. Now it's pulling up, and yeah, it stops in just the right place. It didn't go into the crosswalk or anything. And we're at a red light, as you can see. When I called the Waymo on the Waymo app on my phone, it said it would be there in 3 minutes, and so it did. It arrived. I had it pick me up at the Westin Hotel, and then the door handles were recessed, and on my phone I could tap where it says unlock the doors, and the door handles came out. Also on the top of the car was a little flashing light that said PH. They had my initials on it, so I know that I'm getting the right car, and it knows it's getting the right passenger because I've unlocked the doors. And then I had to do my fasten the seatbelt and push the start trip button, you know, whatever it was. I guess it was the start trip or start going. And so now we are going over the Salt River and the Tempe Lake. This is the entrance ramps to the freeway, 202 freeway, and I don't know if it takes the freeways or not. I suspect that right now it doesn't use the freeways, but maybe they will with time. And also last night I got an email from Waymo that said that they have a new feature. They can connect with my telephone and play my music on my playlists or podcasts and that sort of thing. Sort of like, I know in my car I put Apple CarPlay in my Porsche, and it does all of that, connects with my phone automatically. The one thing that you can't yet do on Waymo is you can't make a phone call through the system. You'd be, of course, on your phone you could, but it doesn't connect with the car on telephone. But I'll bet you that will be a feature that'll be activated pretty soon. The other question I have is there Wi-Fi? Can you download and get stuff and do work? I could see somebody taking a longer trip and doing Wi-Fi. Interesting, as the car pulled up on this to this red light, to the right of us is a white pickup truck, and that pickup truck was sort of on this, a little bit to this side of his lane. As we pulled up, then my car just jogged over a few inches just to avoid getting too close to that pickup. So it really was aware. It must have measures the distance between itself and whoever's next to it, and make that distance right. I can feel it slowing down. I can feel the brakes coming on. It's not like, oh, and as soon as the light turned green, it started accelerating again. Well, it was right on that, and much like a good human driver would do. It doesn't go up and then up to a red light and slam on the brakes and stop quickly. It does it nicely. And likewise, accelerating, it doesn't dawdle along, man. It gets up to speed limit nice and quickly. And here it was slowing down a little bit, then the light turned green, and it continued on. But there's a Tesla ahead of us, very much keeping our distance, but a proper distance from that Tesla. Here's the screen where we are now. Anyway, you can see that there's just an area where Waymo will work, and we live on Camelback Road, and that's right on the edge of the northern edge of their area that they serve. So it wouldn't come right to us on Camelback. I had to go over to Olive and Ivy Restaurant, which is nearby. It's 2 blocks away, on a cul-de-sac, and that's where Waymo said it would pick me up. I think it searches for safe, nice places for pick up and drop off, rather than just on the edge of a major road, on the curb or anything. And when I took it this morning, I took it to the Snooze restaurant in Tempe on College Avenue. It didn't drop me off right in front of the restaurant. It dropped me off about a half a block away, that was in a nice pull-off place. And so I think that's one of their priorities, is just like a taxi. You wouldn't want a taxi to drop you off on any old curb. You're going to have it take you to someplace where you can pull off out of traffic and be safe. According to the Waymo website, there have been no accidents that were caused by the Waymo car. There have been some accidents, but in every single case, it's the error by the other vehicle when there's any contact with the vehicle. It's the other driver's fault, not Waymo's. It would be really cool if somebody would screw up and do something stupid on the other driver, so we could see what Waymo does. I don't mean hit us at 60 miles an hour through an intersection. That would not be fun, but it'd be sort of good if somebody would do something stupid just to see a reaction. Now here, did you see that car carrier? The corner was sticking out a little bit, so you could feel, I could feel anyway, maybe you couldn't. The brakes went on, and he pulled a little bit to the right to get around it. Because if we'd have gone straight, it would have put a nice crease in the side of our car. So that was pretty cool. It was unplanned thing there. Notice it pulls up about 10 feet from the car in front of us. It doesn't hold back about 50 feet like some people do. Too often people stop with a huge gap, and then usually they're on their phone. I can see them looking down and texting her. And so the one advantage of this driver is that this driver doesn't text people, and doesn't start playing goofy music, and doesn't start stupid idiot conversations or complaints about things. There's the driver, and you can see that there is nobody in that seat. Also, on the car it shows 72 degrees is the heat, and that's what I set it for. It's got us arriving at 7 minutes, so if you're getting bored with this video, you can, of course, you'll fast forward, and then I'll try to show you what happens at the end of the ride. And now there's a choice coming up. I don't know whether she, it's an it. I don't know whether it will continue north on Scottsdale Road, or if I were going there, I would want to veer off to the left to Goldwater. We're in the left lane, so maybe that's the plan. I don't see it yet on the map. Yep, got the blinker on, so we're going to go left to Goldwater, which is the smarter way to go. I was hoping to go straight on Scottsdale Road because there's road construction up there, and that would be interesting to see how it handled it. As far as price, this ride is $12 and I think 60 cents, and which is comparable to Waymo and or comparable to not Waymo, comparable to Lyft and Uber. And then on their website, on the Waymo website, it says that their prices are comparable, and I checked it, and it is. This is only one of 3 places in the country that has the Waymo cars. It's here and LA and San Francisco. Now we're at Indian School Road, pulled up at a red light behind a little Lexus, and here we are. We're saying 3 minutes. We'll be at Olive and Ivy Restaurant. We could play music, but I haven't elected to do that just because I want to pay attention. I don't need the music. This is pretty much entertaining the way it is. Here's the cars around the side of us. I've noticed a number of people looking at this car, which is a funny looking thing. And when I get out, I will show you what it looks like from outside. I'll keep this video running after I get out of the car. There's also a screen in the back seat, and actually the screen in the back seat shows you a little bit more. It shows where the car is and all the cars around us and so on. I rode in the back seat when I went from Scottsdale to Tempe this morning, and now I'm in the front seat. I thought it'd be a little different and to get a better view, of course, of the traffic and what's going on. Here we're going up over the canal.
Almost there. Don't forget your belongings.
Right turn signal to Via Solari. And boy, when it turns, it stays in the in the proper lane. I mean, in this case, it was the right side lane, and there's a truck up here, so it got over well ahead of time and avoided that parked truck. Got a right turn signal on, and definitely a stop. Probably I would have rolled through that stop sign if it were me, but and they didn't hit the pedestrian. Now it's sort of narrow, and there's and there's a FedEx truck in the way, but negotiated that pretty well. And we're coming around the cul-de-sac, and this is the drop-off. Trying to find another spot to pull over, it says.
You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
Did you hear that? It said we're here, and so I know before I got to pull the door handle twice. I learned before that if you pull it once, it unlocks the door, and twice to open. And I'll show you what this car looks like from the outside. Now the FedEx truck is creeping around us. I noticed the door handles now have receded, and it's taken off.